Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. Today is Tuesday, February 20th, 2024, and we have That's Happening Tuesday here at News in Motion. If this is your first time tuning in with us, we just want to say, first off, welcome and thank you for your support and your love. News in Motion is a news media outlet with relevant commentary and call to action. We can be found on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or any audio and podcast platforms. But if you are ready for That's Happening Tuesday, be sure to grab a pen, grab a paper, invite your friends. Let them know that you're tuning in through News in Motion. For our audio listeners, make sure that you're keeping your eyes on that road. And if you have the chance to chat, make sure that you're stationary. We prioritize safety over here for our audio and podcast listeners. But I see you, Miss Adrian, tuning in through YouTube, and good morning to you, Miss Kim Emerson, tuning in through YouTube as well. Happy Tuesday, terrific Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, whatever Tuesday you want to call it. But we have That's Happening Tuesday over here at News in Motion. How was everyone's weekend? We hope you had a fantastic weekend. Remember, we are only live here at 7:25 a.m. on Tuesdays through Thursdays. Now we have taken Mondays off to kind of recuperate and also do some research on all news going around the world. Well, without further delay, we will be joined here momentarily by the one and only Miss Gail Dudley. But right after this brief intro.
News in Motion.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all, I love seeing this YouTube button pop up all over the place. I see you, Latrice Jones. I see you, Deborah Johnson, joining Adrian and Kim and Marion on the YouTube screen. I also see Terry Davis on Facebook. I see Lori Wallace on Facebook. I see my brother Louis Part III on Facebook. And I see about maybe 110 of you on the podcast platform. So y'all rolling up in here. Y'all are rolling up in here. Davia, welcome home. She's over there in YouTube land as well. Listen, Lori, Lewis, Terry, I need y'all to come on over to YouTube. Why? If y'all have been seeing any of the information this past week, and we also reported it here on News in Motion, Facebook is suppressing any type of news headline that deals with world news, politics, any social justice, anything like that. So they're suppressing it. We had a ton of inbox messages last week saying, I could not find you. Where were you? I didn't see the announcement. And I told them, come on over to YouTube. So it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. So Sardinia, you too, come on over to the YouTube. Isaiah, if you will pop up the YouTube URL so that people can find us. You can go to youtube.com/Gail Dudley. And once you see that out there, that /Gail Dudley, hit the subscribe button so you will get it. So Isaiah should have that up there momentarily. Dr. Antoinette, good morning. Good morning, Regina Shorts. Y'all are serious about YouTube. And Isaiah is going to pop that up in a few moments. Again, it's youtube.com/Gail Dudley. Go ahead and pop that up there so we can let people know that we are here and we are live. I think he's putting it in the chat there, and he's also putting it up there. So go ahead and take a look at that. But y'all, welcome to That's Happening Tuesday. I am your host, Gail Dudley, and this is indeed News in Motion. Today is Tuesday, February the 20th, y'all. And boy, do we have some news today. I see you, Yvonne Gardner. She came on over there on YouTube too. YouTube land is popping. Y'all are serious. I'm glad to see all of that. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. In case you missed it, This is Tuesday. I know we've had a long weekend, but in case you missed it, I don't know how you can miss this, but just in case you did miss it, Donald J. Trump has been fined $354 million in civil fraud cases. And he can't be an officer or director of a New York company for 3 years. I want to pause here just for a moment. Yeah, I got into it with somebody from the New York Times on Twitter over the weekend. I did. I wasn't backing down. I was not backing down. My brother joined YouTube. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Yes, Dr. Antoinette Letitia James, AG. Yes. So listen, I got into this battle with this person from New York Times because they put it out there, and I have this issue with information that is not 100% correct. I just have an issue with it. I do. And I decided I'm going to start talking about it. So he made a post and said he can no longer have a company in New York. That is not the truth. He can after 3 years. He can. So we got to be careful what we're putting out there and how we put it out there. So I just made a reply. It's X. I can respond because you're out there. I think he actually blocked me, but whatever. So anyway, he put a post out there as a journalist. And I said, hey, thank you for your post. I said, but I think we should make the adjustment. It's only 3 years. And then he can go back to doing business in New York, and unless some other things happen. The guy came back at me and told me, I see you have your own page and your little news show. So why don't you talk that over there? I said, oh, okay, we can do that. But I didn't even have to respond, because I was shocked of how many people started responding for me and said, that's one of the problems. We need to speak the truth. And I'm like, yes, let's just talk the truth. You're a journalist. Be careful what you put out there and how you put it out there, because it's not true that he can never do business again in New York. He has 3 years. So let's just speak the truth. That's what people are tired of all the spins, So to anyone who may be joining us from that X feed before I was blocked, thank you so much for jumping in and having my back on that. All right, y'all. New York Attorney General Letitia James sued former President Donald J. Trump, his company, and others in 2022, accusing them of falsely inflating the value of assets and financial documents for years to secure better terms from lenders and insurers. So y'all know all that happened. So he's been fined, and I guess he doesn't have the money or something, because he came out with a new sneaker. Y'all was like, is this for real? And he showed up and said, this has been something in the works. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. No, you didn't. You need to figure out something. And they're gold. And if you ask me, they just look cheap. Yeah, I said it. They just look cheap. I wouldn't buy them. So anyway, y'all, he has these sneakers out there. Pre-sales are open if y'all want to get a pair. And it's priced at $399 online. You can get the T on the outside of each shoe, I guess, like Converse. I don't know. They're called Never Surrender High Top sneakers. What? I mean, even that alone says, what are you up to? What are you up to, Buttercup? What are you up to? So then he was like, well, let's go beyond the athletic shoes. Let's go ahead and get some perfume too. So y'all can get Victory 47. A perfume and cologne for $99 each. You can get that as well. So there's an opportunity for you to just pour into whatever it is that he's peddling. Now, sidebar, and I mean this from my heart with everything that I have. I'm serious. And I had this conversation this weekend with somebody, and they actually listened to me. I was kind of surprised because they were a Trump supporter. Or are a Trump supporter. And I said, I just have a question. Do you, every time you get one of these emails, I said, because I get the emails. I said, every time you get these emails, do you send $5, $10, $20? They're like, every time. I said, why? Well, because I believe in him. He's the wealthiest man in America. I said, first of all, that's not true. He's not. I said, but give me more. Like, what is your reason? I said, are all your bills paid? I went there, y'all. I went there. I did. And they were like, well, yeah. I said, the way you just responded to me, you need to take that $5, $10, $20 and pay your bills. I said, do you think he will help you in a time of need? I said, he's using you. He's using all of you. I said, you're paying his legal fees, and he's touting himself out here like he's this wealthy American, and he's not. I said he wouldn't need all these GoFundMe pages that another billionaire put out there. Let's talk about that. GoFundMe. Mother Jones is reporting, a lot of people, and if you were on X, that's why I kept one of my profiles on X, because I needed to see what was going on. Okay, I just needed to. So Mother Jones is reporting. Cordone. Her husband's a billionaire. She's a part of the company. She's a billionaire, and she decided she was putting out a GoFundMe. Number one, you're a billionaire. Why are you organizing a GoFundMe? If you really want to help your friend with $355 million, why don't you just give him $355 million? Why are you starting a GoFundMe? And they through this research that Mother Jones put together, the regular person who's giving are people who don't have it to give. So here's a billionaire who started a GoFundMe account, but the marginalized people, the people who are using their Social Security checks, y'all, are the people who are giving to this fund. Y'all help me make this make sense. Seriously, I'm not even trying to throw shade. I'm trying to understand. You're a billionaire. You started a GoFundMe page for $356 million to be exact. And the people who are giving to this GoFundMe are those who are on Social Security, on government assistance, and others to pay into a man who's doing all kinds of things. 91 counts, if I can remind you all. Why are you giving this man, these people, your money? Your hard-earned money. Make it make sense, somebody. Y'all, make it make sense. So, y'all, here's the question that I have, and this is coming from Mother Jones as well. I formed my own question out of this. Why do you think people are so on board that they will give their rent money to help a man who's done wrong? Help me understand. Y'all coming up in here on YouTube. I'm loving it. Help me understand this. Seriously. So he has a tennis shoe, $399, $399. You can pre-order. Now, even that scares me. Okay, they $399. Are they really going to ever are they going to get them? Are you going to ever send them these tennis shoes? Then you got perfume. I don't know if I want any perfume or cologne made by this man. What does it smell like? Victory 47. What does that smell like? And do you use it? Because people say you smell. So I don't know, y'all. Help me understand. Let me get off that dude. All right, y'all. NBC News reports that Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers approved new legislation maps after state Supreme Court in December found the previous maps favored Republicans and were unconstitutional. So he has signed that into law. So that's out there. So pay attention to that. Y'all rolling up in here. Good morning, Judy. Kim says, because he spews the nonsense they want to hear. At some point, I would get tired of that nonsense. Pastor Alex Williams said the same reason why people follow Jim Jones and Hitler. It's not rational. I'm glad I am. My parents instilled this in me, and I instilled this in my children, and they used to laugh at me. My children did. And my daughter is listening. She knows I say this. When I would drive her to school or when she would leave for school to go get on the bus, I said, okay, you have two choices today. You can choose to be a follower or a leader. Which one do you choose to be today? And she say, Mommy, a leader, Mommy, a leader. Yes, be a leader, not a follower. My parents instilled that in me. My grandparents instilled that in me. You have two choices today. Do you choose to be a follower or a leader? And we would define what the two were. And I would always say, I want to be a leader. So I just don't quickly follow people like that. I don't. Davia says, smells like cheap cheeseburgers. That's a good one. That's a good one. So yeah, it's just, I guess I just have never been in that place. But then I guess if we get down, and Davia may have to come join me one day, get down to the psychology of all of it. Maybe it's insecurity. Maybe they feel insignificant. Maybe that's the only thing that's giving them hope right now. We don't know. Maybe they have been, I don't know. So I understand, but I don't understand, if that makes sense at all. So yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Y'all, New York Times, as everyone know, uh, I always was afraid that he would die in prison, but he was there for the cause, Navalny. Um, and now the widow is pledging to continue his work to build a democratic Russia, presenting herself as a political force. She said that she has signaled that she would step into the void left by the sudden death of her husband in a Russian prison. Now, Samaphori, I hope I'm saying that correctly, .com reports that his wife, who made it very clear that he died in a penal colony on Friday, promised to continue her husband's work. And y'all should really look at the video that's all out there. Her video is amazing, very touching. And she's asking supporters to share in her rage. As y'all know, many people have been arrested in Russia over the weekend. Many people have been arrested. They will not reveal his body. The morgue refused to show his body to his wife, his family, or anyone. And she has blatantly come out and accused Putin of murdering her husband. So we just want to pray for her and all that's going on there. Y'all, in the financial world, y'all know I'm all into this now. In the financial world, y'all, Capital One, I got the alert last night in the news alerts. Capital One is acquiring Discover Financial Services in a $35.3 billion deal. Y'all need to pay attention to this. Remember, we had Cassandra Cummings on here last Tuesday. Y'all just need to keep following this. Now, y'all, a combined Capital One and Discover card would create the #1 U.S. credit card company by loan value. Y'all, check this out. And it will leapfrog JP Morgan Chase and Citigroup. This is all on CNBC, y'all. Now, it's also one of the banking sector's largest deals since 2008 financial crisis. Last year, as quiet as it's kept, they acquired the digital concierge service Velocity Black. Hold on. Y'all, this bank merger, I want y'all to pay attention to this. If anything, this is why we do what we do here on This Emotion, because we're really trying to connect the dots and really trying to give y'all all the information so you can make educated decisions when you're voting or anything it is that you're doing, even when you're banking. So y'all, with this bank merger, regulators will take a closer look at this whole antitrust concerns. So pay attention, pay attention. Now, Capital One, I want y'all to pay attention to this. Capital One has traditionally attracted subprime customers, those with lower credit scores, so they could build their credit. But now, y'all, they're on the hunt for a wealthier crowd. Hold on, let me see what Latrice says. She says, I wonder if they're going to lower rates. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. What's up, Fred Jones? But get this, y'all. Get this. I don't want y'all to miss this. Now, they're now going after the wealthier crowd. If this merger happens, seems like it's going to. And they want to replace JP Morgan Chase, the Sapphire card, and MX Black and their Platinum card. So what's going to happen to the people who were able to get out of debt and to grow their credit rating? Because Capital One was open to people with a lower credit score. See, we got to understand. Remember, we talked about the GDP last week, which part 2 of the town hall is coming up on Thursday. And by the way, congratulations to Pastor Derek Holmes. He is now the pastor-elect for Union Grove Baptist Church in Columbus, Ohio. So really excited for him. My family and my husband and I have been praying with him and for him through that entire process. So he is pastor-elect. So we want to say congratulations. I called him on Sunday and said, News in Motion people already know. Are you going to put a thing on your Facebook page or something? Because y'all were calling, y'all were emailing, saying, hey, is this true? It is true. He is now pastor-elect for Union Grove Baptist Church in Columbus, Ohio. So he's so excited. So congratulate him when he comes on here on Thursday. But anyway, let's get back to this. So the GDP, and I told y'all what that was. Y'all remember that? Oh, and past Dr. Antoine, I need your t-shirt size or sweatshirt, whichever one you want. So let me just say this. What's going to happen to those who were relying on Capital One to build their credit? Will there be another bank to come in and swoop those individuals up? Or has this now changed the dynamics and changed the narrative? Yeah, these are the things we got to think about, because the merger, they're going to have to look at it. They're going to decide if the merger is going to happen. Remember, we had JetBlue and Spirit Airlines, and that merger didn't go through because people said, well, what about the people with the lower income who was using Spirit Airline because of the lower flight rates? So will that help? Will that help when it comes to Capital One and Discover? Yeah, we got to talk about this, y'all. We cannot ignore this in this election season. All right, let me see what some of you are saying. Lori says she's right. Wishful thinking. Oh, you're talking about Latrice. Kim Edmondson says, connect the dots, girl. I'm trying. Lori says Capital One has several cards. Maybe they will keep the lower ones to build both groups of people and credit. I thought the same, but when you read this stuff, I want y'all to go to CNBC or just Google the merger with Capital One and Discover Cards Financial. It's almost as if they're getting rid of them because they're trying to take the place of Chase Sapphire and Amex Black. Fred says, gotta pay for those Final Four commercials with Samuel L. Jackson, Spike Lee, Charles Barkley, and Jim. That's true. So we got to pay attention to this, y'all. We have to pay attention to this. So the question I'm going to leave with you all today on this particular subject, will this deal go through? Latrice says, what can we do to voice concerns about this merger? Thank you for asking. What we can do is contact, if you have a card with either Capital One or with Discover Card, call and ask questions. Reach out to your representatives, even now, saying, okay, this is big news. This is a deal. We're talking $35.3 billion. What about the individuals who have been climbing out of debt and using these cards to increase their credit score? We need to ask that. And does this dot connect to the dot when it comes to stocks, margins, hedge funds? I now learned about whales as well. Listen, and I mean WHALES, and how they can come in and teeter the stock market, and how they're going to try to change the demographics for people getting into option trading. Does this fall into this as well? Are all of these dots connected? I'm not for sure. So y'all, chips are on the table. I told y'all I have news for y'all today. This is on That's Happening Tuesday, and everything connects. Don't think this is just some fly-by-night news headlines that's coming your way. Y'all, this all has to do with this election. Listen, y'all, AP reports the Biden administration said Monday, I thought they were off, but they weren't, Monday, that the government intends to provide $1.5 billion, that's what it be, to the computer chip company Global Foundries to expand its domestic production in New York and Vermont. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. Weren't y'all really excited about Intel in Columbus, Ohio? I know that y'all building the building. I know the framework and all that's going up. But I haven't heard talk about that in a long time. So what's happening? So now you give them $1.5 billion to Global Foundries. Are there any Black people out here making chips? Y'all, seriously, where are the engineers for this? And why aren't we talking about, why aren't we at the table? Let's go back to the town hall on this past Thursday. And part 2 is coming up this Thursday. We talked about trillion. We talked about, I think we said came up to 7 trillion. By the time myself and Pastor Holmes put all those numbers together. Where's the money? Can we get any of that? What do we need to do to put in contracts and become vendors with Global Foundries? Y'all, these are the questions we need to be asking. You're talking $1.5 billion, and you rolled this out on a holiday when most people weren't paying any attention to it. But I was, because I have questions about this money. Y'all, the announcement is the 3rd award of direct financial support for the semiconductor company under the 2022 CHIPS and Science Act. Okay. All right, but what schools, how many HBCUs are coming under this CHIPS and Science Act? How many high schools are these in rural communities, urban communities? Are these in the marginalized communities? Where are these programs located? Can somebody answer that question for me? Yes, y'all, we are fair and balanced here. We got to understand where this money is. You're talking $1.5 billion. How much of this is out of that $7 trillion we were talking about on last Thursday? Can you tell us where the money is? We have small businesses, Black and brown small businesses, African American small business. This is Black History Month, by the way. Now, we're Black 365 days of the year, but come on, you roll this out. How many Black people working for Global Foundries? I'm just asking a question. I just want to know. So we understand our voting. And why is it in New York and Vermont? Seriously, why couldn't this be in Chicago? Why couldn't this be in Philadelphia? Why couldn't this be in Atlanta? Why couldn't this be in Dallas or Houston? Why couldn't this be in Oakland, California? Hello, somebody. I'm just asking questions because I'm just asking questions. I'm trying to understand where's the money. Where's the money and why can't we acquire some of this? Y'all, the law enables the government. I ain't done. Y'all thought I was done? No. The law enables the government to invest more than $52 billion. What? You went from 1.5 billion to 52 billion, 52 billion into revitalizing the manufacturing computer chips in the United States, as well as advanced research and development. Really? Huh. So let me see. We talking stocks, margins, hedge funds, option trading. So should we be looking at semiconductors? Just give us something because some of you, oh yeah, got to call her out. I like her. But former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, how many hedge funds and stocks does she have? How much of this have y'all discussed and where is it funneling so that y'all are investing and we're not? Can you let us know how it's going? We just want to know. We just want to know. We just want to know. Seriously. So, y'all, the Commerce Department said yesterday, because I'm not done, it will send $1.5 billion to chip maker to help build a new factory. So you're not building chips, you're just building factory? I don't get it. Because, yeah, 39 billion. Y'all thought I was done, didn't you? 39 billion established by the 2022 CHIPS Act to bolster domestic chip manufacturing with direct subsidiaries. Well, who are the subsidiaries? Can you name them for us? Are they giving to the Black communities? Are they giving to the marginalized communities? Like, where are these buildings being planted? Who are you hiring? How can people apply for the jobs? Can you tell us what we need to know? Because we got people looking for jobs. We got people who want to be vendors. Can you tell us where all this money is going from? And they say in their press release from the White House, this is just a start. Really? Well, where is it going to end? And how can we be a part of this? How can we be a part of this? Hold on. Y'all, listen. The Competition Policy International, this is a payments company, reports that Microsoft backed OpenAI reportedly completes deal valuing the company more than $80 billion. Well, who's this payments company? And who is the Competition Policy International? Why ain't we know about it? Seriously. And y'all, all of this is on the heels of tomorrow's announcement from Chairman Powell, the FOMC. What does it stand for, y'all? Come on, somebody put it in there. What does the FOMC stand for? Somebody put it in the chat. I'm just seeing if y'all really pay attention to me in the mornings. Now, y'all, he will give a report tomorrow. They can't decide if it's going to be noon or 2 o'clock. And everybody wants to know, will the rates be cut? And Wall Street is like, what are y'all doing? If you look at the stock market already in pre-market, the board is red. Everybody's waiting. Well, what's about to happen? Well, let me connect these dots here. If there was an announcement of 1.5 billion, and if there was another announcement for 39 billion, why are the markets red? If we just had this $35.3 billion deal with the announcement of acquiring Discover from Capital One, why are the boards red? Y'all, these are the questions we need to be asking. And that's why I believe we need to learn and understand everything. I'm so glad I'm into the stock market now because I'm like, wait a minute, the board shouldn't be read. There's a lot of announcements of a lot of, what, couple billion, no, not more than a couple. We got a lot of billions on the table. Why is the board red? Huh? Tell me about it. What's the connection? See, y'all, there's something else behind the scenes working here. Dr. Antoinette says giving someone else a chance. Listen, it's interesting. It's interesting. Y'all, good news though. Bob Marley, One Love came out last Wednesday and 80 million. They were like on the top, but 80 million to lead all films in global box offices. So that's good. Marion says the federal, that's it. That's it. Marion gets it. Marion gets it. Marion gets it. Man, we're going to send you a t-shirt too. Make sure you let us know your size. That's the new vote t-shirt. Or sweatshirt. You let me know which one you want. Now, yeah, in weather, we got to talk about weather before we got here. In weather, California is getting hit with more winter storms. I just want a winter storm in Ohio. And don't y'all tell me we had some snow on Saturday. That was pretty. It was cute, but it was not the kind of blizzard I'm asking for, Jesus. I want a serious blizzard. And it's now all gone. It was 19 degrees on Saturday, 50 something on yesterday. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It's not making sense. It's not making sense. All right, y'all. So Chairman Powell is coming out tomorrow with an announcement. But guess what broke off this morning before we came on air? Because I ain't down with the numbers. CNBC came out with breaking news. Anytime CNBC gets breaking news, pay attention. Y'all, Walmart beats Wall Street holiday expectations as e-commerce sales soar. Y'all, they rose by 6%. Then, right behind that announcement, Walmart came out. They're going to buy the TV maker Vizio for $2.3 billion. What? Y'all, these billions, y'all got to pay attention to the bees, pay attention to the bees, pay attention to the bees. Y'all, Isaiah just said, you want a blizzard, go to Dairy Queen. Whatever. Now, just because I gave y'all all that, just for the heck of it, yeah, I got this, I like different alerts. I got this news alert. And it was like, this is kind of interesting. So we're talking about money, it fits. And I'm going to put in the chat the link because I want y'all to read this for yourselves. It's coming up now. Y'all, nature.com reports that the decimal point, yeah, I went there. The decimal point was invented around 150 years earlier than previously thought. Yeah. So according to analysis of an astronomical table compiled by an Italian merchant and mathematician, Giovanni Balanchini. Yeah, I worked on that name all day yesterday, and I think I got it right. My daughter just said you did. I was working. I said, help me pronounce his name. Anyway, in the 1440s. Now, historians say that this discovery rewrites the origins of one of the most fundamental mathematical conventions and suggests that Balanchini, got to make sure I get it right, whose economic training contrasts starkly with that of his astronomer peers. Yeah, decimal point, y'all, might have played a more notable part in the history of math than previously realized. Yeah, so these results are now published in Historia Mathematica. Yeah, we say mathematics, but it's Mathematica, okay? So now I want to give a shout out to somebody in the article by the name of Sarah Hart, who says this. Isn't this just great? Y'all probably like, girl, we don't care anything about this. Y'all better pay attention to the decimal point. Pay attention and read the article that we put in the chat. Everybody on podcast, just go on there later, get the chat, and read this article. The article is phenomenal. So Sarah Hart, who was also part of this article, says the beauty of the decimal system, as she's a historian of mathematics at Birkbeck University of London, she says that it makes non-whole numbers as easy to calculate with as whole ones. I thought, I remember the whole decimal thing. Okay. She goes, there's no need. This is the word, she got a word from Joe Biden. There's no need for all this malarkey. that you have to do with fractions. She says, with a decimal point, you can use the same process on numbers of any size. Y'all, this article is phenomenal, okay? Because when we're talking about politics, when we're talking about the stocks and investments, when we're talking about billions, millions, and trillions, I guess I should change it, millions, billions, and trillions of dollars, we need to understand this decimal point. Yeah, I was like, okay, this all works, this all works, this all works. Yeah, it's phenomenal. And we're living in it. We're living in it, which leads me to today's inspirational message. Instead of sitting back going, what's going on? Why? This, that, and the other, and being all mad about it, find the humor in it, wherever you can find it. And then also say, okay, let me learn about this. How are you measuring inflation? Is it the decimal point that's making that happen? Is it the fractions that's making it happen? Or what really is behind all these numbers? Should the number game change since this now goes back to 1440s? Y'all, yes, this is how I put the script together. Yes. Y'all can tell I love what I do. So anyway, looking at these numbers and saying, well, what's the connection? Why is the interest rate so important? What does this look like? How do we separate the marginalized from the wealthy people? And is it a real picture? Why is it, my dude, Warren Buffett, why are you secretly holding onto one of the stocks when you have to report them? Yeah, the institutions have to report the stocks they're buying, and it's phenomenal. And so they started coming out with it last week. I think I shared a few of them with you all. And he's holding on to one. He's calling it his secret one that he's holding on to it. Well, what is it? And why aren't you sharing it? And the SEC said you need to tell people what you're doing. So why are you not telling them yet? And why aren't you in trouble about it yet? Like, seriously, y'all, I have these questions. So we need to start getting involved and having an understanding of what's really happening and how it is happening, y'all. Y'all, this is phenomenal stuff here. So, y'all, my prayer focus, as I told y'all for Lent, I'm going to be praying over different things when it comes to politics, the U.S., the world, and so forth. Today, I was led to ask all of you to join me in praying for the White House communication team and their department, because they got to start communicating some of these things to us. And may their hearts be open, and may they have a love for their neighbor, no matter if they're rich or poor, and communicate to all of us the truth. What are all these numbers? How can we access some of this money? That they will really become transparent and start sharing that information with us. Y'all, the prayers are going to change. Listen. And then in addition to that, in my inspirational messages, we need to say, okay, let me pause. Let me stop just looking at what's in front of me and start praying about and having an understanding of what's also around me. Where do I fit in? Okay, let's put the chips on the table. That was one of the topics earlier. Okay, so these chips that everyone's needing, do y'all remember? It was just like a year ago, they were on some shipping container and we couldn't get to them. Y'all remember that you couldn't buy cars, there was chips just missing. How all of a sudden did they show up in the massive number that they've shown up? Why are they showing up everywhere? And why are all these semiconductors all of a sudden talking about these chips? Where'd they come from? Were y'all holding them back? Yeah, these are the questions we need to be asking. And that's why I keep saying to all of you, attend town hall meetings. We need answers. We need answers. So are they playing us? Y'all, seriously. So we need to start looking at this differently and having these tough conversations and not backing down. Even if people are on the other side from our thought process, still have an adult conversation. Say to them, like I was saying to the person, help me understand why you give your rent money to somebody who has 91 indictments. No shade. I just really want to understand your thought process as to why you think that's okay. And why you want to give your hard-earned money to somebody who says they're a billionaire, but they have a GoFundMe account from another billionaire. Yeah, we need to be able to enter into these adult conversations. Seriously. Marian Jackson says the inspirational message is finding the humor in situations and learn from it. Pray for the White House Communication Committee. Y'all listen, tomorrow my hope for Workshop Wednesday is to talk about writing legislation. That's my hope. That's my hope. It just depends on how the wind blows and what kind of news we have. In addition to that, and we can add this to the inspirational message as well. Y'all remember last week I said, I don't get it. Our numbers are dropping on news and motion. A lot of them are now gone to the audio because they're back to work. So I did get an understanding of that. Remember, I was like asking God, is this over? And I said to you all, I made a commitment to take us through the election, November the 7th. When I got off the broadcast that day, and I wrote this down in my journal, when I got off, it says, so y'all can see it. When I got off, it says, you do not need thousands. I thought, wow. All right, Jesus, that's deep. He said, it only takes a remnant. And this is out of Draw the Circle, the 40-day prayer challenge. Batterson says in the book, and this is a direct quote, it's rarely a majority. In fact, it's almost always a small minority. But all it takes is a faithful few to begin a reformation. So I prayed about this. And then I wrote down these words from Mark Batterson. Pray as long as it takes. The answers are there. So I kept doing my own time of prayer and seeking God and saying, God, where am I going? What's happening? How are we doing this? How this rolls out? And these are the words God gave me. He said, the Bible says, and I put down here, his word says, 2 or 3 can change the demographics of everything. 2 or 3. Sometimes we're looking for the crowds, but the crowds will always disappoint. I thought, wow. He said, crowds are too many. He said, go back to my Old Testament word when I kept taking them, having them decrease all the way down, decrease. Then I wrote down from Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10, New Living Translation, do not despise these small beginnings. And I came back to God. I'm being very transparent right now. I came back to God and I said, but God, it's almost 4 years. I said, we had these numbers and they shrunk. And we had the numbers and they shrunk. And God was like, who gave you a year date? He said, what's small beginnings? He goes, what does beginnings mean? Are beginnings 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 10 days? He goes, that's not for you to decide. That's for me to decide. So then I wrote these down. That we must take the step regardless of how small. Do the little things like they're big. Yes! I got so excited about that. Then I saw a post on Facebook from Rita Fuller Yates talking about the tickets for Usher and that they're now $4,000. Well, I was helping somebody get tickets the Wednesday before the Super Bowl, and they were like $200. And that came to me when I was reading Rita's Fuller Yates post about, people are paying $4,000 for these Usher tickets. I was sitting there thinking, real fans buy tickets before the performance. Don't miss that. The Super Bowl, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I want to go to his concert. So let me go. So they're now looking for these tickets and they're paying this high ticket price. But if you were a real fan, the Wednesday before the Super Bowl, you got tickets $100, $200. You might have got them for $300. They're on the floor. They're in the front row. They're in the best seats. So the real fans pay less money for the bigger, better seats. Don't y'all miss that. That can preach by itself. Listen, all of you who have been hanging out with News in Motion since 2020, y'all are real fans. As things continue to progress and the people we have been inviting to join us for the town hall meeting, which are going to be fire, when y'all start seeing more people and y'all y'all have to fight to get y'all's comment in, remember, y'all the real fans. Y'all the real supporters. Y'all were here from day one, and we can't thank you enough. All right, y'all, tomorrow, maybe it's Workshop Wednesday, maybe it's not, but y'all do something different today. Pray for the White House communications team and their department. Look at the different articles. Read the one about the decimals on it. What's up, Shirley Nicholson? Read the ones about the decimal point, that article we put in there. Y'all, things things are about to shift in the atmosphere. Be ready. It's coming. It's coming. All right, y'all. I'm your host, Gail Dudley. This has been News in Motion. This has been That's Happening Tuesday. Y'all know what I say, everyone. Stay well. And remember, make some bold moves. We're out.
News in motion.